Okay, so hopefully from our last lesson on proportional relationships, you were able to see that the values are equal to one another. Okay? These values or these ratios, when they become a fraction, this is like using slope. Okay? So a proportional relationship, when we're graphing one, uses x and y. So let's go ahead and write this. Proportional relationships use x values and y values. Okay? We know that they will be in proportion to one another. When you put in the x, you get the y. Okay? So the relationship is represented in the equation that we've been using. That is y equals mx, and then whatever the plus b is. So m, this m right here, this m is the slope, but it's now also going to be called the constant of proportionality. So this means that for whatever change we make, x and y are going to be related to each other. I'll go over to x, up to y. We're graphing it because the slope tells us what to do. So this is the constant of proportionality. So when the line has a slope that is the same over and over, so the points are all in a straight line, that means it's constant. The slope is constant. It doesn't change. It's the same every time when you put in an x value and a y value. Okay, so that's just the words. Let's look at what this means with math. So in math, we can graph proportional relationships by looking at the values and solving for the x and the y, just like we've been doing. Okay, so nothing changes. The only thing that's different is that now they're going to tell you what it equals. Okay, so let's say that I have a problem. I'm using the wrong color. That's like my try it color. Where is the blue? Okay, so let's say that we have a problem, okay? And it says that frozen yogurt, so it says the cost y in dollars for x ounces, so the number of ounces of frozen yogurt we can use the to find the amount of money. Okay, we're going to use the equation y equals 50 cents times x. Okay, so for every half, so half of x, we're going to get a y value. So for every half of x, we're going to get a y value. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to make a ratio table. Okay, so here's our x values, here's our y values. And in our table, we're going to start with, if I were to have 0 ounces of frozen yogurt. So if I buy 0 ounces of frozen yogurt, I'm going to pay $0. So the cost is based on how much frozen yogurt I get. So if I don't buy any frozen yogurt, I don't pay anything for the frozen yogurt. But let's say that I buy 1 ounce of frozen yogurt. So if I buy 1 ounce of frozen yogurt, I am going to pay 50 cents. So my equation is 0.5 times 1 ounce, and that is going to give me my Y value. Well, my Y value, half of 1, is 50 cents. So for my Y value is equal to a half. So when I buy 1 ounce, I'm paying 50 cents. Okay, let's look at what happens if I buy 2 ounces of frozen yogurt. So let's look if I buy 2 ounces of frozen yogurt. So if I buy 2 ounces, so let's just write under here, ounces, and this is how much it's going to cost. Okay, if I buy 2 ounces of frozen yogurt, I'm going to say Y is equal to, again, 50 cents, but now I'm buying 2 ounces. So I'm going to put my 2 right here, and half of 2 is 1. So Y equals $1. So I'm spending $1 for every 2 ounces of frozen yogurt. Okay, but wait, what if I want 3 ounces of frozen yogurt? So now let's say I buy 3 ounces. Again, I just put it in here. It's 50 cents an ounce. So now I'm going to multiply 50 cents times 3, which means I get $1.50 or 1.5. So the cost is proportionate to how much I buy, or there is a relationship of how much frozen yogurt I buy. And that cost is 1 over 0.5. I'm sorry, 0.5 over 1. So the Y value over the X value. Okay, so let's turn these into ordered pairs. So the ordered pairs I get are 0, 0. The next ordered pair I get, X comma Y, is 1, 50 cents. This one is 2 for 1. And this one is 3 and 1.5. So now I've used the cost of the frozen yogurt, which is 50 cents per ounce. That's the cost. I've filled out my ratio table, and now I've found the ordered pairs. The only part I have left to do now is to graph. So I'm going to go ahead and graph this relationship. I know that your Post-its have the grid already in the middle, so you can try to ignore that grid if you want and only graph the positive slope because we don't need to worry about any of the negatives, or you can draw the center line and go from there. So I know that you guys already have this line in the middle, so I'm going to go ahead and make my grid look like yours so that it's not confusing. Okay, so each of these lines here is going to be worth 50 cents. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So skip a line in between so that we can use that as the 50-cent mark. Okay, and then the same thing up here. So we can do the same thing here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the top could be 5. Okay, let's go ahead and graph now. So when I don't buy frozen yogurt, I don't pay for frozen yogurt. So my cost is at 0, 0. My next one, when I buy 1 ounce of frozen yogurt, I pay 50 cents. The next one, I buy 2 ounces of frozen yogurt, I'm going to pay $1. Next, I buy 3 and I pay $1.50. So I'm going to go over to 3 and up to 1.5. So my proportional relationship is being graphed by a straight line. Okay, the cost is dependent on how much I buy. This is a constant of proportionality. The slope depends on how much I buy. I go up 50 cents and over 1. Up 50 cents over 1. Up 50 cents over 1. My slope is half over 1. That is my constant of proportionality. Or if you want to think about unit rate, it is 50 cents per ounce. That is the proportion. That is the constant of proportionality. Okay, let's look at doing another one. Okay, on this one, let's say that I am renting some movies. Okay, and the cost in dollars to rent a movie, what did I put up here? Oh, there we go. The cost in dollars, Y, for X movies uses the equation Y equals 3X. So this means that it is $3 per movie. Okay, so $3 is our cost per movie. So the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to create a table with X and Y values. So when we have X is the number of movies, and Y is how much it costs. Okay, so if I rent 0 movies, I pay $0. If I rent 1 movie, I'm going to pay $3. Okay, so we can look at this like this. So Y equals 3 times 1 movie, because X is the number of movies. So Y equals 3 or $3. Now, let's look and see how much it costs when I rent 2 movies. So if I rent 2 movies, how much do I have to pay? Well, let's look. Y equals $3 times 2 movies. So Y equals 6. I pay $6 for 2 movies. All right, and then the last one, let's see how much I pay for 3 movies. So Y equals $3 per movie, and I'm buying 3 of them. So Y equals $9. So that is, these are my proportions here. So we're going to now take these ordered pairs and we are going to put them on a graph. So I have 0, 0. I have 1, 3 for my ordered pair. I have 2, 6. And I have 3, 9. So my job now is going to be, again, to use my sticky notes here, my graphing sticky notes, and I am going to graph the cost per movie. All right, so again, in the middle, I'm going to find the middle of my graph, and I have a line here. And because I don't have very many spaces, and we're going by 3s, I'm just going to call each one on the Y value 3, 6, 9, 12, like that, okay? And then over here, on this value, we're going to just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now we're going to graph, okay? So when I don't buy a movie, I don't pay anything. When I buy 1 movie, it's $3. So I go over 1, up 3. 2 is $6. So I'm going to go over to 2 and then up to the 6. 3 is 9. So I'm going to go over to 3 and up to 9. If I continue on, if I buy 4 movies, it would cost $12 and so on. So I can keep making a straight line with this because the rate is constant. It's equal. Okay, it's the same rate every single time. Our rate, our constant of proportionality, is $3 for every 1 movie. That is our slope. So if I were to put this into y equals m, our 3 over 1 is our slope times x. All right, it is your turn now to do a try it. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the page so that you have access to room to do the try it. Okay, today's try it says that the cost of video games to rent is $4 for every video game. So we are going to write the cost y, which is in dollars, to rent X video games is represented by the equation y equals 4 times x. I would like for you to graph the equation and then tell me what does it mean. So graph this equation and then tell me what does this mean by interpreting the slope. Okay, all right, hit pause right now so you don't hear me solving, and then when you are ready, go ahead and hit play. All right, so let's first make a graph. So we have x values and we have y values. And we're looking at y equals 4 times something every time. So when I rent 0 movies or zero video games, I pay $0. That's the first one. When I rent 1 video game, how much am I going to pay? So y equals 4 times 1 video game, which equals $4. So I pay $4. Okay, what about when I have 2 video games? So when I have 2 video games, let's just keep with the color. Y equals 4 times 2, so y equals 8. I pay $8. And the last one, y equals 4 times 3. Let's say I rent 3 games. I will pay 4 times 3, which is 12. So y equals 12. Every time, I'm just going to use 0, 1, 2, 3, just like we did before with our x values. We don't want to have any negative money because we're not paying anybody for. If you don't rent it, you don't pay for it. So you're not going to owe someone. So we're not going to rent negative video games. Okay. So our ordered pair is 0, 0, 1, 4, 2, 8, and 3, 12. All right. So go ahead and grab hopefully you grabbed your graph paper so that you were able to graph this. I'm going to go ahead and graph mine, so that you can see what it looks like when it's graphed. So again, I'm in the middle of the graph like yours. Only yours is a black line because they've already graphed it. Oh my goodness. Graphed it for you. I'm sorry that that's not a straight line. Okay, our first one. I'm going to go ahead and graph like these ones, the x values, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But these ones I'm going to count by 2s. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. just so that way they can all fit on the graph. If I counted by 1, I could only go up to like 5 or 6. So, and we actually have like 8 and 12 here. So that's why I'm doing it that way. Okay, so at 0, 0. And then I have 1, 4. So I'm going to go over 1 up to 4. Then it's 2, 8. So I'm going to go over to 2 and up to 8. This one I have 3. So over to 3 and up to 12. Now I'm ready to draw my line so that I can interpret the graph. Okay, so this means that for every for every video game, it costs me $4. So the slope is 4 over 1, or $4 per 1 game. That is how we interpret the slope, or the constant of proportionality. It's 4 over 1. Okay, so up 4 over 1, up 4 over 1, up 4 over 1. All right, how did you do on this? Go ahead and answer your essential question, and then put your level of understanding in the box out to the side. If you have any questions, come on back to the Google Meet and ask for help. Otherwise, you may go and do your practice work. And remember, make it a great day.